The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18 plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
You know, one of the things General Keane told us is that they're going to have only indirect talks today or tomorrow in Pakistan between Iran and the U.S., which may make the whole story even tougher. And who knows? I mean, I don't know who the Iranian negotiators, I don't know who they represent. I mean, there's all kinds of letters circulating on the internet that they're at war with each other, the parliamentarians versus the Revolutionary Guard. Anyway, somebody that understands this as well as anybody, Ambassador Robert O'Brien, my dear friend, former national security advisor in Trump 1. He is now the chairman of American Global Strategies. Robert, I just, I don't understand exactly. To me, this should be unconditional surrender. Here is what America wants. We have destroyed you economically, militarily, financially. You don't have any gasoline. Your oil wells are going to shut down. I mean, is this a negotiation, or what is this, Robert O'Brien?
You've laid it out and set the context very well, and it's great to be with you. This is how the Iranians negotiate. They love indirect negotiations. When I was the hostage envoy, we did indirect negotiations through the Swiss. It gives them more time. The Iranians are masters at running out the clock and, delaying things. In real estate law, we call it extend and pretend. And they're trying to run out the clock on President Trump on the midterms, hoping that the Democrats get in, that there will be an impeachment, that the War Powers Act will kick in. So the Iranians have gone back to their old playbook. Look, I don't buy the regime in disarray story that's being pushed on the internet. All of these guys, whether the foreign minister, the parliament speaker, or the IRGC generals, they all started out in the IRGC. The parliament speaker was an IRGC officer. These guys are all revolutionaries. They're all hardliners, and I think they're trying to play us. And I don't think they're going to be able to play President Trump.
Go back to what you just said when you were a hostage negotiator, and you negotiated with Iran. So when you do that, would you come in with a set of requirements, or they would have? I mean, how does that? Robert, what I'm trying to say is, they know what we want. There's sort of like 6 basic things that we want, with ending nuclear and shifting the enriched uranium and the Strait of Hormuz and some other things. They've been public now for many, many weeks. So, if you put your hostage negotiator hat on, what doesn't Iran get? Like, what don't they understand?
Well, the difference between what I was doing and now is their military has been totally destroyed. And we have our boot on their neck. I mean, they have no leverage. And President Trump has been extraordinarily generous to them by not destroying their economic infrastructure, by not destroying their oil production facilities, their oil storage facilities, their oil export facilities. These are all things that the regime is going to need to survive in the long run. And from their point of view, it's how they get back in the nuclear game and how they get back in the missile game, because it's just time and money. And they've got all the time in the world, and the oil will give them the money to get back in the game to our detriment. And so we're asking them to give up what they want, and they have no intention of giving up the nuclear program. They have no intention of giving up the missile program. They have no intention of cutting off their proxies, their terrorist proxies. That's what we want. That's what we have the right to demand, given where we are militarily. I think that President Trump is going to have to send a message to him that, look, I'm not Barack Obama. I'm not Bill Clinton. I'm not Joe Biden. You can't play these negotiation games with me. It's not a negotiation. It's a dictation. This is what you're going to give us. And if you don't give it to us, we'll take it. And by taking it, we're going to destroy the means of economic production militarily. It's what we did to the Nazis in World War II. It's what we did to Imperial Japan. We're going to be forced to do it. President Trump, you know this as well as I do. At heart, he's kind of a pacifist. I mean, he wants a deal. He doesn't want any killing. He wants the Iranians to get smart and have a better life for themselves and for their country. But the problem is we're dealing with very hardline radicals, clerics, whether they're the foreign minister, the speaker of the parliament, or the IRGC generals. They're all cut from the same cloth. And they don't see the world the same way that we do. They don't see the world the same way President Trump sees it. And they're going to take his generosity, I think, and that's out the window.
I mean, I think you're right. In his heart of hearts, he's not a war bomber at all. I mean, he'd rather, make peace and build the country back up again, but we can't do that because there's such a vile, gruesome, Nazi-like operation. They will be checking. I mean, I don't think any decisions are going to be made because Jared and Steve Witkoff, they'll be checking in with Trump 8 or 10 or 12 times. That's what happened a few weeks ago when J.D. Vance was doing, and nothing's going to come of this. I mean, Robert, if they're running out of gasoline, how's that? They're running, I think we talked about this when you were on the show last night. They're running out of gasoline. They don't have the refining capacity. They import the gasoline, but guess what? They can't import anything or export. So they're running out of money. They're going to shutter their oil fields. They're running out of gasoline, which in a modern society brings everything to a halt. Maybe we should just wait, no decisions, just keep the blockade and everything else on. You have super sanctions coming out of the Treasury Department, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe that's it. Maybe we have to take out the leaders who show up at these events and don't make any good decisions. Maybe that also, we're just going to take them out.
Well, look, Israel is certainly tracking these Revolutionary Guard guys, and Israel is especially tracking the players who are killing executing the women, executing the students, executing the protesters on the street. Israel is helping the Iranian people on that front. And you're right about the blockade. The blockade is having the same effect in some ways as the bombing campaign would, but it's doing it without destroying the infrastructure. So as long if we can show them that we can wait this out and let the blockade take its effect, that's great. But unfortunately, Larry, we've got people here, mainly Democrats, but some right-wing, supposedly right-wing Republicans, who are giving the president a hard time and basically mouthing Iranian talking points. And we've never had so many Democrats root for the enemy to destroy Trump and hope that Iran wins to get lost for Trump. I mean, Thomas Friedman, even the New York Times columnist, even said he's conflicted because he doesn't want Trump to get a victory. He may root against America in favor of these vile, wicked, Gestapo-like Iranian clerics. And Ayatollahs and mullahs who are killing their own people just in a horrific fashion. And so, look, if America could come together and take off the pressure on the midterms and take off we can have our disputes with the Democrats over economic policy, over tax policy, over regulation policy, but let's come together on this issue that the Iranians can't get a nuclear weapon, and the Iranians have to stop killing their own people, and they can't kill Jews, and they can't kill Americans. I mean, those should be basic bipartisan principles. And if all Americans, stood for that, if Chuck Schumer came out and gave a speech to that effect, that would send a message to Iran that this blockade is not going to end anytime soon, and that they need to come to the table and accept a real deal and get rid of their nukes, get rid of their missiles, and stop funding their proxies.
Last one, Robert O'Brien. Are we being naive, or is it probably a couple more weeks before this thing ends altogether?
Well, look, the Democrats and the Iranians believe we're being naive. I don't think that President Trump is a naive guy. And you know him well. He's got a gut feel for these things that's incredible. Now, he's being very generous, and there's a difference between naivete and generosity, because he knows what the good deal is. He'd love to make Iran great again. He said that.
Yeah.
Let's make Iran great again.
Yep.
He wants to see prosperity here and in Iran, but he also knows that the character of these regime actors, and if they don't accept a deal soon, they're going to have a deal, enforced upon them by the United States Air Force and the United States Navy. President Trump would like to avoid that if he could, but if we have to protect America and protect our allies and protect the Iranian people, we'll do it.
Right. We cannot let this slip away. He's about to change history. We cannot let this slip away.
We're very close. We're very close here, Larry. We're very close to solving a problem that's been there for 50 years. And it would have gone on for another 50 years had it not been for Donald J. Trump.
Yes, sir. I agree with that wholeheartedly. That's why I keep the faith with him. He knows what his instincts are good. His principles are good. Anyway, folks, former National Security Advisor, Ambassador Robert O'Brien. He's now the chairman of American Global Strategies. Thank you, Robert. We appreciate it very much. Folks, we'll take a break, and we're going to talk to Senator Ron Johnson. Why can't the Republicans have a pro-growth budget? What is all this nonsense about a skinny budget, an anorexic budget? For heaven's sakes, Americans need a little bit of help with $4 gasoline. Senator Johnson, coming up next. I'm Kudlow. Please stay with us.